Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Encounter a bank robbery by chance, my AK can't hide anymore. Qin Feng, a freshman at Haigang University, spent a high price of 500 yuan to celebrate his nephew's birthday by buying an extremely realistic AK-47 at a toy store. Due to going to the bank to handle business later, in order to prevent being mistaken for a robber, Qin Feng specially requested a black shoulder bag from the boss and put his AK inside. When Qin Feng carried his AK-47 and entered Industrial and Commercial Bank of China to handle business, he happened to encounter 3 robbers holding kitchen knives robbing the bank. "What's on your back? Take it out and give it to me." One of the robbers waved a kitchen knife and attempted to rob Qin Feng's backpack. "Do you want it? Okay, here you go." Qin Feng felt that he couldn't commit the crime of being stabbed a few times by the robber because of the 500 yuan toy, so he untied his shoulder bag. When Qin Feng's extremely realistic AK-47 made its debut in the bank, the whole audience was shocked. The 3 robbers suddenly scared themselves. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 1. Take the AK-47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Boss, how much does this AK-47 cost?" Inside the toy store, Qin Feng looked at the brand new AK-47 in his hand and asked the owner beside him. After selecting for a while, Qin Feng finally found a suitable gift. And the reason why he decided to buy this AK was nothing else, it was precisely because of its extreme simulation. The workmanship is exquisite, which is exactly the same as the real one. If someone doesn't know, they will definitely think it's true when they see it. Today is his little nephew's birthday, and he always loves firearms and toys. I believe he will buy this AK-47 as a birthday gift, and the little one will definitely be extremely happy. Sir, you really have a keen eye. The item you have chosen is the treasure of our local shop. The selling price is 500 yuan. When Qin Feng was interested in this AK-47, the middle-aged boss wearing frameless glasses immediately walked over and said with a smile. "Who? 500 oceans." Upon hearing this number, Qin Feng took a deep breath. Sure enough, good things are not cheap. Okay, let's take this one. Although this AK-47 is indeed not cheap, Qin Feng decided to sacrifice his waist bag in order to make the little one happy. "Boss, how much does that black shoulder bag cost?" After paying, Qin Feng suddenly thought of something and asked, pointing to a long shoulder bag hanging on the wall. "I decided to use it later to pack this AK-47. In fact, this toy gun comes with a backpack, but if you carry it on your body, others will know at a glance that you are carrying an AK-47. As he had to go to the bank to handle tasks later, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Qin Feng decided to change his bag and hide the AK. "No more money. I gave you this shoulder bag as a gift." Carrying this AK on the street is indeed a bit too Catching the boss took down the shoulder bag from the wall, put the AK inside, and said with a smile. "This simulation gun is just right inside, and it's impossible to tell from the outside that it contains an AK-47. "Well, yes, boss. By the way, how can I get to the nearest bank here?" Qin Feng carried AK on his back and turned his head to ask the boss before bidding farewell. He is a freshman at Haigang University, and the school will start tomorrow. Qin Feng plans to apply for a bank card at the bank. Convenient for parents to transfer his living expenses in the future. Ah! Upon hearing that Qin Feng was about to carry this AK-47 to the bank, the boss was stunned and stared at Qin Feng with wide eyes. "A sip of tea that I just drank almost sprayed out. Turn left when going out. Walk 500 meters forward and you will find an Industrial and Commercial Bank of China." The boss pointed outside and stuttered at Qin Feng. "Okay, thank you, boss." Farewell to the boss, Qin Feng carried this AK and walked quickly towards the bank ahead. Qin Feng is a traveler who has just traveled through the body of this person with the same name and surname, and whose experiences are exactly the same, for 2 days. Returning to his college years, Qin Feng had no intention of relying on his parents to support himself like in the previous life. In this life, he decided to use his own efforts to earn some living expenses and alleviate some of the burden on his family. After traveling, there are many ways for him to earn living expenses. As a traveler, he discovered that this world was still very different from his own. There are significant cultural differences. Many things like classic songs, poetry, movies, and novels from the previous life are not available in this world. In this way, Qin Feng discovered a profitable business opportunity. He can fully utilize his spare time to sing some songs through online live streaming to earn living expenses. Qin Feng believes that despite being a musician from his previous life, he can still make some achievements in this world. He decided to do whatever he wanted, and after completing the business at the bank, he would register an account on the live streaming platform. Qin Feng's footsteps were fast, and soon he arrived at the entrance of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. At this moment, at the entrance of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China in Haigang City, there is another person who is preparing to withdraw money inside. And this person is no one else, it is the well-known female anchor of TikTok, Chu Yuqing. Chu Yuqing TikTok has paid attention to 30 million people. The number of viewers for each live broadcast is also over 1 million. TikTok properly broadcast the first sister-level characters. At this moment, wearing light blue jeans, white short sleeves, and a pair of silver crystal sandals, she was holding a selfie stick and standing at the entrance of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, chatting with the 1 million viewers in her live broadcast room. Family members, I'm going to withdraw money from Industrial and Commercial Bank of China soon, so nervous. This is the first time I've withdrawn so much cash. If you're unlucky, wouldn't it be a disaster to encounter someone robbing a bank? Chu Yuqing looked at her phone, patted her chest, and said with a smile. And her nervousness is not fake either. Because she is about to go to the counter of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China to withdraw up to 200,000 yuan in cash. As donations to charitable organizations in the harbor. This is the first time in her life that Chu Yuqing has withdrawn so much money. I'll help you pick it up. You are listening at novel.Audio. The city where Chu Yuqing usually resides is the Magic City. As an outdoor anchor, she occasionally travels to major cities in Dragon Country. Explore the shops and explore the scenery. She just arrived at the harbor today, which is also her first time at the harbor. The first thing I do when I come to the harbor is to withdraw money. Decided to fulfill the promise made to netizens last month. Donate 200,000 yuan to the Poor Children's Foundation of Haigang City. As a rare female anchor with both ability and political integrity in TikTok, Chu Yuqing is liked by many people. Many netizens watch her live stream every time. After listening to her words, countless netizens also joked and responded on the barrage. Be careful, Miss Qing. A few days ago, 3 patients ran out of the mental hospital at the harbor, but they haven't been found yet. If these 3 people happen to come inside and rob the bank, then it's all over. It's okay, Sister Qing. My home lives in the harbor, not far from the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on your side. I will go over and be your bodyguard now, and I will definitely not let any accidents happen to Sister Qing. I'll go too, count me in. With us fans present, even if there were really robbers, they wouldn't dare to cause trouble. Watching the barrage of comments from netizens, Chu Yuqing's nervousness was slightly relieved. But I was still scared by the barrage of patients fleeing from the Harbor Psychiatric Hospital on the public screen a few days ago. Chu Yuqing is aware of this news. Just 2 days ago, 3 mental illnesses escaped from the Harbor City Mental Hospital. I haven't found it yet. It is reported that these 3 mental illnesses are extremely dangerous and have a serious tendency towards violence. The harbor is filled with anxiety. The number of people going out these days has decreased significantly. Chu Yuqing estimated that she couldn't be so unlucky. As soon as she arrived at the harbor, she encountered these 3 mental illnesses. It shouldn't be possible. If she really has this luck, she will have to buy a lottery ticket tonight. Then Chu Yuqing quickly walked into the interior of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China with her phone in hand. Chu Yuqing had just entered, and Qin Feng followed closely behind. When Qin Feng saw Chu Yuqing, he couldn't help but be taken aback. I didn't expect to meet Chu Yuqing, the first female anchor of TikTok, here. Qin Feng's TikTok also paid attention to Chu Yuqing. I also watch her live stream when I have nothing to do. I can be considered a fan of Chu Yuqing to some extent. Although he met TikTok's first female online celebrity here, Qin Feng did not speak up. After all, he is just an ordinary person. The latter is a female anchor with TikTok at the height of her powers. The two have vastly different identities. Besides, Qin Feng has no impulse to pursue stars. For these female internet celebrities, Qin Feng can only watch them online. Encountered offline, I really don't have any thoughts such as wanting to sign and take a group photo. Although Qin Feng did not speak to Chu Yuqing on his side, what surprised him was that Chu Yuqing took the initiative to talk to him. Due to the fact that the 2 individuals entered Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, one in front and one behind. After each person finished calling their numbers, they sat on chairs and waited. Chu Yuqing was in front of him, while he followed closely behind. After she finished her business, it was his turn. The seats of the 2 are also tightly adjacent. Hello, handsome guy. May I ask what kind of business do you handle at the bank? Chu Yuqing turned her head and smiled at Qin Feng beside her, saying. After speaking, he shifted the live broadcast camera to the back and aimed it at Qin Feng. During her live broadcast, she often finds passers-by to chat with in order to liven up the atmosphere in the live broadcast room and avoid silence. I'll apply for a bank card. Qin Feng took off his shoulder bag and looked at Chu Yuqing, smiling slightly and slowly saying. He did not expect that this TikTok live queen would take the initiative to talk to herself. Although he is not very interested in internet celebrities like Chu Yuqing, since the latter has spoken to him, out of courtesy, he also needs to respond. After speaking, Qin Feng turned his head and stopped looking at her. Maybe other people are very excited to be able to appear in the TikTok #1 female online celebrity live broadcast room. But Qin Feng is exactly the opposite. He doesn't like the feeling of being watched by over 1 million people together. It's okay when he has his own live broadcast room one day. But in Chu Yuqing's live broadcast room, the feeling of being watched like a monkey is not really good. Chu Yuqing was also quite surprised by Qin Feng's indifference. Because in the past, when she live-streamed, every passerby who could appear in her live room and be actively talked to by her. Without exception. Everyone was extremely excited. But the boy sitting next to her seemed to have no interest in her at all. Just staring intently at the counter ahead, as if there was something on my mind. This actually aroused Chu Yuqing's interest. Coincidentally, Qin Feng's shoulder bag slipped off his body and fell to the ground. I'll help you pick it up. In order to distance herself from Qin Feng, Chu Yuqing voluntarily bent down and smiled to pick up Qin Feng's shoulder bag on the ground. No need. I'll do it myself. Qin Feng was startled by the situation and quickly shouted. But time flies, Chu Yuqing's hand has already touched it. What is inside of you? You are listening at novel full.audio. When I saw Chu Yuqing's hand touching his shoulder bag, Qin Feng's heart was about to jump out of his throat. You know, there's actually an AK-47 inside. Although it is a toy gun, it is a high imitation. 1-to-1 restoration. Both in appearance and touch, there is no difference from a real AK. If this TikTok girl becomes popular online, she will know that she came to the bank with an AK on her back. Isn't there a misunderstanding? Sure enough, when Chu Yuqing grabbed Qin Feng's shoulder bag. The next second, his face changed drastically. The whole person suddenly froze. Because from the touch, Chu Yuqing vaguely sensed that there was a gun inside. When picking up the bag from the ground, Chu Yuqing deliberately placed the selfie stick aside and touched it again with the other hand. This touch doesn't matter. I almost scared her soul out. Because she sensed that, the clothes in Qin Feng's shoulder bag are not just ordinary firearms. It is very likely to be the legendary AK-47. Extremely destructive. Here you are. When returning the bag to Qin Feng, Chu Yuqing's hands were trembling and her speech became stuttering. Thank you. Qin Feng's face was also slightly red on this side. He took the shoulder bag from Chu Yuqing's hand and nodded, saying. From Chu Yuqing's expression, Qin Feng understood that the other party might already know what was inside. What's wrong, Sister Yuqing? Just now it was fine, why did your face change the next second? Yeah, is there something inappropriate in this kid's bag? That's right, otherwise Sister Yuqing wouldn't have been scared like this. Watching the barrage of bullets constantly flying on the public screen of the live broadcast room, Chu Yuqing has no intention of replying to netizens now. At this moment, her heart was filled with the mysterious package carried by Qin Feng. I really want to know if the gun on the surface there is actually a gun. Excuse me for asking. What is inside your shoulder bag? The tactile sensation emanating from it makes me feel like, yes, it's a gun. Chu Yuqing mustered up her courage, turned her head, and looked at Qin Feng beside her, trembling as she spoke. After listening to her words, the 1 million viewers in her live broadcast room instantly exploded. I'll go. No way. The young man next to Sister Qing actually brought a gun to the bank. Is it really fake? No, there shouldn't really be people in this world bringing guns to banks to do business. If there is, then he has only one possibility, which is the legendary robber. This shouldn't be the program effect created by Sister Yuqing. Please make us play. The boy next to her looks polite and young, so he doesn't seem like a bad person at all. This is not good, as the saying goes, one should not judge by appearance, and the sea should not be crooked. Maybe this young boy is a robber. Knowing that Sister Yuqing is coming to withdraw money today, I came specifically to snipe Sister Yuqing. 3 funny expressions. Chu Yuqing glanced at the barrage in the live broadcast room again, and after watching the comments from netizens, her heart suddenly became restless. I feel that what netizens are saying makes sense. It's not without this possibility. A few days ago, she had already made a statement in the live broadcast room. When she arrived in Haigang City, the first thing she did was to go to the bank to withdraw money and donate it to the Haigang Foundation for Poor Children, fulfilling her promise. And the young man sitting next to her also entered the bank with her feet in front and behind. How could there be such a coincidence in this world? This person, shouldn't you really come here to snipe her, right? No. How could I possibly bring a gun to the bank? You touched the wrong thing. Qin Feng quickly shook his head and replied. I don't want to explain too much to Chu Yuqing. If he answers, it's just a gun inside, just a toy. The other party will definitely not believe it. Maybe calling security to arrest him for inspection is not impossible. Qin Feng just wants to cancel and stop processing his bank card, and quickly leave here. I don't want to get into unnecessary trouble. Although Qin Feng gave Chu Yuqing a negative answer, his demeanor and stuttering words made Chu Yuqing increasingly uneasy. This Industrial and Commercial Bank of China is not a large store, it belongs to a small branch. The security forces are not as strong. There is only an old man in his 70s wearing a security suit sitting at the door. If something happens, the situation is really out of control. Customer 41, please go to window 1 to handle the business. At this moment, a sound came from the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China's horn, indicating the time for Chu Yuqing to handle her business. Hello, Help me withdraw 100,000 yuan in cash. When she arrived at the window and handed her bank card to the salesperson, she cautiously said to the other person. Chu Yuqing originally planned to take 200,000 yuan, but suddenly changed her mind. Prepare to withdraw 100,000 yuan first. If nothing happens later, she will take out the remaining 100,000. For robbery. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. What's going on? Is there really something wrong with the young man sitting next to Sister Yuqing? The first time I've seen Sister Yuqing's face look so bad. Yes. I don't think it's just a show effect. I guess that young man really has a problem. Did that kid really bring a gun when he came to the bank to do business? If so, then something big will definitely happen later. No one would bring a gun to the bank for no reason. What should we do? I think the security forces of this bank are really weak. If something unexpected happens soon, the situation may become uncontrollable. Not afraid. No matter what, I have already reported to the police for Sister Yuqing. Say there are suspicious individuals in this bank. The harbor police should arrive there soon. I don't want to see my Yuqing sister encounter any unexpected events. You are such a good person to report to the police. I thank you on behalf of Sister Yuqing's family. 3 laughing expressions. I also called the police, and I feel that this young man may really be wrong. From the beginning, he sat down and looked around nervously. Don't even glance at Yuqing. You should know that when young people, especially boys, see the TikTok live broadcast of the Queen, no one will be like this. I judge that this young boy must be in trouble. During the process of Chu Yuqing going to the counter to withdraw money, the 2 million netizens in her live broadcast room fiercely discussed on the public screen. Due to a sudden incident, the number of viewers in Chu Yuqing's live broadcast room suddenly exceeded 2 million. Watching the high popularity of her live broadcast room, Chu Yuqing really doesn't know whether she should be happy or sad now. In the past, when she live streamed, her popularity was at most just over 1 million. It has never exceeded 2 million. Nowadays, when I go to Industrial and Commercial Bank of Haigang to withdraw money, my popularity has unexpectedly skyrocketed. It really surprised her a bit. But this leap came at the cost of her life's safety. Chu Yuqing would rather not have this popularity than encounter any unexpected events today. Miss Chu, please take your 100,000 yuan. At this moment, the bank teller handed a full stack of 10 red banknotes to her from the window and looked at her with a smile, saying. Upon seeing this, Chu Yuqing quickly opened the zipper of her backpack and quickly put a stack of banknotes into her bag. While pretending, he glanced at Qin Feng behind him with the lingering light of his eyes. Afraid that the latter would suddenly rush in front of her and steal her money. But when I saw Qin Feng sitting calmly on the chair without moving, Chu Yuqing breathed a sigh of relief. I feel like I've been overthinking today. If this young man really plans to rob the bank today, we should start now and not hesitate anymore. Now Qin Feng is sitting safely on the chair without any movement. She probably overthought it herself. What is inside Qin Feng's backpack is mostly not firearms, but other things. Robbery. Take out all the valuable things on your body. Just as Chu Yuqing breathed a sigh of relief, the 2 million viewers in her live broadcast room breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly, a fierce roar came from within Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. I saw 3 men wearing light white clothes standing up from 3 directions at the same time, each holding a bright kitchen knife. At the moment of hearing this sound, Chu Yuqing trembled and her frightened soul almost flew out. Turning her head, when she saw clearly 3 people holding 3 sharp kitchen knives, Chu Yuqing finally understood. I really had bad luck today. Encountered a bank robber. What surprised her was that the bank robbers, but it's not Qin Feng that she had always suspected before. But 3 men holding kitchen knives. Chu Yuqing was greatly surprised. She noticed that Qin Feng did not make any movement at this moment, nor did he stand up from the chair. He just tightly gripped the shoulder bag in his hand and sat motionless on the chair. Perhaps Qin Feng is also one of these three people. I didn't show up just because I didn't want to expose it temporarily. Chu Yuqing was anxiously speculating in her heart. At this moment, faced with three men holding kitchen knives suddenly standing up inside Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Chu Yuqing's more than 2 million viewers in TikTok's live broadcast room immediately exploded. Originally, Chu Yuqing's live broadcast room had just surpassed 2 million people's popularity. After the scene just happened, it skyrocketed by 50,000 in just a few seconds. Arrived at 250W+. Everyone is fiercely barraging on the public screen. The barrage of bullets kept drifting like snowflakes. I'll go. No way. Yuqing is so lucky. Did you really encounter a bank robber? Is the one who just reported to the police still there? If I don't even support the wall, I'll obey you. How come these three people look so familiar? They shouldn't be the three who ran out of the Harbor Psychiatric Hospital a few days ago, right? These three individuals are extremely mentally abnormal and have a serious tendency towards violence. If that's true, then Sister Yuqing and the audience present would be in danger. I hope the harbor police can arrive here soon, otherwise the people present will definitely be in danger of their lives. It's necessary to see red light today. P.S. Brothers, upload a new book. Whether this book can be written or not is entirely in your hands. Friends who like this book, please provide some data support. The author kneels down here and thanks. With data, it will explode immediately. 5 mental illnesses are indeed mental illnesses. You are listening at novel full.audio. Watching the barrage of bullets rolling like rockets in the live broadcast room, Chu Yuqing tightly grasped her backpack. Standing in place dumbfounded. I was so scared that I didn't dare to move. She doesn't really care about the 100,000 yuan in her bag. But she was afraid that these three ferocious robbers at the scene would harm her. After all, the barrage in the live broadcast room said that these three people may be the patients who ran out of the Harbor Psychiatric Hospital 2 days ago. Has a serious tendency towards violence. If these three people launch a frenzy, there may be bloodshed at the scene. That's definitely not the scene that Chu Yuqing wants to see. Not only Chu Yuqing, but also other customers present were all frightened and froze in place, crouching on the ground with their heads in their hands. They have withdrawn money for half their lives, but they have never seen anything like this before. I have never encountered a bank robbery before, let alone a mental illness involving three people holding kitchen knives. The kind of person who would accidentally launch a fierce attack on someone. Even the salesperson inside the counter was frightened and at a loss. Crouching on the ground in tears. Even the police forgot to report it. Among all the people present, only Qin Feng sat on a chair, motionless. Just tightly gripping the shoulder bag in my arms with both hands. It's not that he's not afraid, it's just that the depths of his heart are completely shrouded in mystery right now. Doubt whether everything you see is true. What era is this? How dare someone even rob a bank? And still holding a simple, rough, and primitive weapon like a kitchen knife. When he saw clearly the faces of these three people and the white coats they were wearing, Qin Feng suddenly realized. Aren't these the three patients who ran out of the Harbor Psychiatric Hospital a few days ago? These three people are currently wanted throughout the city. Those who can catch them have a cash reward of up to 100,000 yuan. At the first moment Qin Feng saw the wanted notice, he even fantasized that if these three people were encountered by him one day and lucky enough to be sent to a mental hospital with uniforms, he would receive a reward of 100,000 yuan. With this 100,000 yuan, he can rent a house outside the university and get a better computer to do live streaming and earn some extra income. At this moment, these three people may be seen by others as insane robbers. And in his eyes, it's 100,000 oceans walking. Qin Feng knew that if he intended to take action, he must be quick. Otherwise, if the harbor police come here, everything will have nothing to do with him. Only by subduing these three people before the arrival of the harbor police did he have a chance to obtain the 100,000 yuan. Apart from the bounty, Qin Feng could not watch these three mentally ill people casually harm others here. As the saying goes, when you see injustice on the road, pull out your sword to help. That's all I said. Since heaven has given him a chance to become a hero, he must cherish it. And the reason why he dares to be this hero today, it all depends on the AK-47 inside the shoulder bag. He was extremely fortunate today that he came to the bank and brought the toy gun he bought for his nephew. Although it is fake. But it was an abnormal simulation. It cost him a whopping $500. It can be said that there is no difference between it and the truth. If it were a normal robber, perhaps he wouldn't be able to intimidate them yet. But the robbers he encountered today were not normal. But three patients who just ran out of a mental hospital. Qin Feng knew very well that in the face of such abnormal people, only by using abnormal means can they be subdued. As long as they perform well enough, these three people have a perfect chance of being intimidated by him. As long as they are scared by him, what he will save will be the lives of dozens of people present. Otherwise, these three guys will go crazy and be able to do anything. Thinking of this, Qin Feng didn't hesitate and immediately took a deep breath, picked up his shoulder bag, and slowly stood up from the chair. After he made this move, everyone present, along with the three robbers, focused their attention on him. Because he is different from everyone else. He is the only one who can remain calm after a sudden bank robbery. Not only did they not squat on the ground with their heads clasped in fear like other customers, but they stood up from the chair with a calm expression. Carrying one's own shoulder bag, hands in pockets, as if nothing had happened. This scene really shocked everyone in the bank. Qin Feng instantly became the focus of attention for the whole audience. Become the most beautiful cub. Originally, Qin Feng thought that if he suddenly stood up from his chair, he would shift the attention of the three robbers to himself. This can help share the firepower with others. What left him speechless was that, these three middle-aged men, dressed in white jackets and holding kitchen knives, glanced at him. It seems like I suddenly understood something. Then they immediately split up and took action. A guard responsible for controlling the entrance, one is taking money at the window, the other one robbed the customers present with a kitchen knife in hand. Wipe. Seeing this, Qin Feng almost spat out old blood. I have to make him sigh, mental illness is indeed a mental illness. His action not only failed to attract the robber's firepower. Instead, it has plunged him into public criticism. Let everyone present think that he is with these three people. Let go of that girl and come towards me. You are listening at novel full.audio. At this moment, the eyes of the people around him changed. Full of fear. A few customers who were originally next to him also ran to the side, trembling and quickly moving away from him. That's it. This boy is indeed with three mental illnesses. When Chu Yuqing saw this scene, she couldn't help but cry inwardly, feeling uneasy. You know, standing up from Qin Feng, these three people glanced at him and immediately took action. Although there was not much conversation or communication between the few people, through a series of actions, even discerning people could tell what was going on. Without a doubt, Qin Feng is the leader of these robbers. Take out the money from your bag. Hurry up. At this moment, a robber suddenly came behind her and placed a bright kitchen knife around her neck, speaking fiercely. Upon hearing this voice, I looked at the sharp kitchen knife that was close to her, as well as the ferocious mental illness in front of me. Chu Yuqing was so scared that she was about to fall to the ground. She reached out and trembled as she reached into her bag, ready to give the 100,000 yuan she had just taken to the robber. Although this 100,000 yuan is indeed quite a lot. And it was also her donation to the Harbor Foundation for Poor Children. But at this critical moment, she still prioritizes which one is more important. In this world, money is certainly important. It's hard to walk without it. But more important than money is life. If you lose your life, no matter how much money you have, it doesn't make any sense. Just as Chu Yuqing thought that if she obediently handed over this 100,000 yuan to the mentally ill person next to her today, she would be let go. Next second, the person's lewd smile on her face immediately tightened her heart. I feel like big things are not good. I'm sorry, miss. I still have to rob you. After putting the money in the bag, the person shook the kitchen knife in their hand and gave her a chuckle. Upon hearing these words, tears welled up in Chu Yuqing's eyes. Hold your shoulders tightly with both hands and lean against the corner of the wall. In her 23-year life, she has never been as helpless as she is now. She understood that if she were really tainted by this mental illness in front of so many people today, her life would be ruined. But there's nothing we can do. The other person is a mentally ill person holding a kitchen knife and ignoring it. Anything can be done if you go crazy. Chu Yuqing can only pray to the heavens now. I hope God can see that after all these years of success, she has done many good things, at a time of exceptional crisis in her life, being able to extend a helping hand to help her. Because she always believed that good people have good karma. She won't be defiled like this no matter what. God will never let such a thing happen. At this moment, Chu Yuqing's live streaming phone placed in the corner is also recording all of this throughout the process. The 3 million viewers gathered in her live broadcast room, their hearts also rising to their throats. I feel extremely worried about Chu Yuqing's critical situation. Oh my goodness. Does this mental illness want to do something inappropriate to Sister Yuqing? Are these mental illnesses too insane? Sister Yuqing gave him the money as per his request, but the other party even showed interest, hoped the harbor police arrive soon. In this case, it is estimated that even if the police arrive, it will not be of much use. After all, these 3 people all hold weapons and control dozens of hostages. The police cannot rush in even when they arrive. What should we do then? I can't just watch Yuqing being bullied. It can only be left to fate, see if there can be heroes from heaven on the spot to save the TikTok live Queen Yushuehua. At present, after the robbery of ICBC in Haigang City broke out, the audience of Chu Yuqing's TikTok studio has exceeded 3 million. She has achieved the most popularity since her live broadcast. And it jumped to the first place on the TikTok hot list. There is a continuous influx of new audiences. Let go of that girl. Hurry at me. Just as everyone feels helpless about the critical situation on site, a fierce roar suddenly came from within the industrial and commercial bank of Haigang City. After this firm and powerful voice came, everyone present was stunned. Then he turned his head and looked in the direction where the sound came from. I saw a young boy wearing a white sportswear, carrying a black shoulder bag, hands in pockets, and bright eyes standing there, staring angrily at the robbers who were preparing to bully Chu Yuqing. Is it him? At the moment of seeing the Qin wind, Chu Yuqing trembled all over. My heart is filled with surprise. Unexpectedly, the person who stood up for him at this moment was Qin Feng, who had just been sitting next to her and was suspected by her of being a robber. Just now, she had always thought that Qin Feng and the 3 mental illnesses present were in the same group. But if Qin Feng were really with them, he wouldn't have made such a move at this time. It seems that she wrongly blamed Qin Feng. Looking at the righteous Qin wind in front of her, Chu Yuqing's heart suddenly surged with a great warmth. I am extremely moved by this boy who can stand up for her and protect her at the most critical moment of her life. In her 23 years of life, she has never been so moved like this. Without Diamond, we won't be doing porcelain work. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In addition to being moved, Chu Yuqing was also extremely worried about Qin Feng. After all, in her opinion, Qin Feng certainly wanted to step forward and save her from the heart of water and fire. But there was no resistance against the 3 robbers holding kitchen knives, who were fierce and ferocious. If Qin Feng was injured or even killed on the spot by several robbers in order to save her, that will be an unbearable pain for Chu Yuqing's entire life. Unless the young man in front of me has any extraordinary abilities. From Qin Feng's gaze, what Chu Yuqing felt was full of calmness. That is a sense of composure that does not belong to his age. Could it be that this young boy, since he dares to come out, really didn't take these 3 mental illnesses seriously? As the saying goes, without that diamond, we wouldn't be doing porcelain work. Chu Yuqing hopes so. Otherwise, Qin Feng would be miserable. What are you saying? Upon hearing the roar of Qin Feng from behind, the robber holding a kitchen knife slowly turned around and angrily spoke to Qin Feng. I have some good things here. Would you like to come and take a look? Qin Feng then patted his shoulder bag and smiled slightly at the robber, saying. He didn't know how he suddenly shouted that sentence just now. Perhaps influenced by a certain movie, just blurted it out. Of course, such trendy words are naturally incomprehensible to 3 mental illnesses. But this is not important. Importantly, he achieved his goals. That's it, successfully caught the attention of 3 robbers. Let the 3 of them focus their firepower on him. Sure enough. After hearing that there was something good in his shoulder bag, the 3 robbers immediately had an excited light in their eyes. Holding a kitchen knife in hand, he walked towards him step by step. I'll go. This young boy is too brave. That's right, it's a bit handsome. Looking at his eyes, it seems like he didn't take these 3 mental illnesses seriously at all. There is a sense of teasing them between their thighs and palms. It's true that from the beginning until now, everyone else has been scared to death. Only this young man carrying a shoulder bag remained calm and composed. It's like nothing happened. Now, when Yuqing encounters danger, she can bravely stand up and attract firepower for Yuqing and the audience present. He's really handsome to death. Is it true that he is not an ordinary person? From the first moment I saw him in Yuqing's live broadcast room, I felt that this young man was a bit complicated. There is a radiance in his eyes that does not belong to his age group. There shouldn't really be anything deadly in his shoulder bag, right? Otherwise, one cannot be so calm and composed, without taking the 3 robbers in front of them seriously. Let's take a look later, we'll know soon. I hope this young boy doesn't just puff up his face and pretend to be fat. Otherwise, he would be miserable today. When Qin Feng stood up for Chu Yuqing, the latter's live broadcast room's popularity skyrocketed to over 350,000. These 3 million people are all discussing on the public screen of the live broadcast room. Meanwhile, the harbor police quickly arrived at the scene upon receiving the alarm call. At this moment, it was Wang Gang, the director of the harbor police department, who personally led the team. Wang Gang attached great importance to the sudden robbery at Industrial and Commercial Bank of China located on the downtown street of Haigang. Especially when it is known that Chu Yuqing, the live broadcast queen in TikTok and even the whole network, is also trapped in it, it is even more tense. You know, as a newly rising top female anchor, Chu Yuqing's popularity is impressive. The number of viewers per live broadcast is no less than 1 million. The influence is quite significant. If the Hong Kong Industrial and Commercial Bank robbery case cannot be handled properly by the Hong Kong police, it is bound to have a profound impact on the tourism economy of the port police station and even the entire port city. So as soon as he learned the news, Wang Gang personally led a team, organized a team, and arrived at the scene as quickly as possible. Countless live ammunition police surrounded the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. At this moment, Haigang City Television Station was also present at the scene with the harbor police. As the highest-rated local radio station in the harbor television station is also exceptionally well known nationwide. Especially when there were explosive incidents such as robbing banks. When the reporter from Haigang and Taiwan arrived outside the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the radio's ratings instantly soared by a few percentage points. Becoming the highest-rated program in the entire harbor during the same time period. It also squeezed into the top 10 on the national ratings ranking. Audience friends, the place where I am now is Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on Haigang Central Street. Just 20 minutes ago, a robbery broke out here. It is reported that dozens of customers are trapped inside. Among them is the live broadcast queen Chu Yuqing, who is at the height of the sun in TikTok. A beautiful journalist wearing high heels and a black professional suit stood at the entrance of Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, nervously speaking to the nearby camera. 8 is definitely hiding good things. You are listening at novel full.Audio. Through the glass outside the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on Haigang Central Street, one can clearly see the situation inside. I saw dozens of customers holding their heads in both hands, trembling with fear, squatting on the ground, not even daring to take a breath. TikTok's live broadcast queen Chu Yuqing stood in front of the counter window, motionless. Her face, as beautiful as flowers and jade, was covered in tears. 3 middle-aged men holding kitchen knives and wearing light white jackets slowly pushed towards a young boy. According to reliable sources, the 3 robbers who were currently inside the bank were the 3 fugitives who had escaped from the Harbor Psychiatric Hospital 2 days ago. These 3 individuals have a serious tendency towards violence and are extremely mentally unstable. There is a high possibility of bloodshed occurring inside the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on Haigang Central Street today. The Harbor Radio will continue to report on you in the future. The beautiful journalist continued speaking towards the camera. How about Wang Ju? Do you want to launch a strong attack on the other side? The police officer on the side asked Wang Gang, the director of the Haigang City Police Bureau. No way. The 3 people inside are different from ordinary robbers. They are all patients who ran out of the mental hospital. The kind that can chop people off on impulse. If we forcefully rush in, it will inevitably stimulate them. I don't want to see any casualties in today's situation. Wait a little longer. Get the sniper ready, and if you notice any tendency to harm these 3 people, immediately shoot them to death. If they can be captured alive, it would be best, but if not, it is necessary to ensure the safety of others present. After examining the situation inside, Wang Gang shook his head and said. Wang Ju. By watching Chu Yuqing's live broadcast, we found that the young man who was surrounded by the robbers at the moment actually took the initiative to provoke them and make them turn their attention to him. Judging from his situation, it seems very dangerous. He is probably a young man who, with his passion, wants to perform a heroic act of saving the beauty. The police officer on the side looked at the screen on his phone and said to Wang Gang. Get the sniper and assault team ready, listen to my orders, and be ready to attack at any time. Be sure to rush in before this young man is chopped into 8 pieces. Wang Gang took a cold breath after listening and quickly said. Feeling helpless about Qin Feng's impulsive actions. I don't understand where Qin Feng had the courage, but he dared to take the initiative to provoke 3 insane mental illnesses. If Qin Feng is cut into a serious wound in front of millions of people in Chu Yuqing's TikTok studio. That is definitely not the picture that Wang Gang wants to see. Today he just wants to ensure that everyone is safe and sound. Don't let anyone have an accident. Inside the house. When Qin Feng saw 3 robbers holding kitchen knives and their extremely unstable mental states surrounded him just because of one sentence. Chu Yuqing's TikTok studio has more than 3 million viewers, who can't help but raise their heart to their throat. To be honest, this young man's courage is certainly commendable. In the most critical moment, I saved Sister Yuqing. If he hadn't appeared in time, I'm afraid Yuqing would have been killed by the robbers now. But didn't he think about his future? That's right. Now he is surrounded by 3 irrational mental illnesses. If he cannot conquer them, there is a high possibility that he will be badly chopped by the kitchen knives in the hands of the 3. It is true that this is the case. I hope this young man has great fortune and can escape this calamity. Otherwise, his fate would definitely be disastrous. 3 crying expressions. Watching the intense barrage of bullets rolling on the mobile phone screen in the corner, Chu Yuqing's heart was beating faster and faster. She didn't expect that by chance, she would come to the harbor today to withdraw money, which would make the live broadcast room popular, reaching a record-breaking 380,000 plus. This popularity was something she had never dreamed of before. The barrage is one after another, constantly jumping on the public screen. She truly broke her own live streaming popularity record today. But Chu Yuqing is not in the mood to care about these things at the moment. Her heart is the same as that of nearly 4 million viewers in the live broadcast room. That is a great concern for Qin Feng. Chu Yuqing understood why Qin Feng had just done that. It's all for her. If it weren't for seeing her being cornered by the robbers and trying to plot against her. So Qin Feng wouldn't stand up and attract the firepower of the 3 robbers, putting himself in the crossfire. For the Qin Wind, Chu Yuqing was full of emotions. I have never been so moved by a man in my life. She only hopes that Qin Feng can be safe today. Otherwise, she would feel guilty for a lifetime. What is inside the bag? So long. Take it out. When the 3 robbers arrived at Qin Feng's side, they immediately showed infinite interest in the long shoulder bag on Qin Feng's shoulders. One of them waved a kitchen knife at Qin Feng and said fiercely. The other 2 also stared intently at Qin Feng's bag. His eyes were filled with excitement. I feel like it must really be like what Qin Feng said inside, there is definitely something good hidden inside. Do you really want 9? You are listening at novel.Audio. Do you really want it? Looking at the 3 mentally ill individuals standing in front of him, with shining eyes and staring intently at the backpack he was carrying, Qin Feng smiled slightly and said. If he takes out the things inside later, I just hope these 3 people don't get scared. What nonsense. Hurry up and take it out. If we want it today, not to mention this bag, even your underwear will have to be taken off and given to us. After listening to Qin Feng's words, one of the robbers waved his kitchen knife and impatiently said. Okay. Since you want it. Then I'll give it to you. Qin Feng nodded and took a deep breath. Then he slowly took off the shoulder bag and held it in his hand. Outside. Wang Gang and the police present were staring intently at what was happening inside. Wang Ju. These 3 mental illnesses are probably robbing this young man, trying to steal something from his shoulder bag. It seems that this young man is quite cooperative. As long as he obediently gives them the things in his bag, these 3 mental illnesses probably won't harm him, the police officer on the side said to Wang Gang. I hope there are no fools inside who forcibly protect their belongings from the robbers. Now the harbor police have completely surrounded Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. All the customers' items today will eventually be returned to their rightful owners, and there will be no shortage. Wang Gang nodded after listening and said. I am quite satisfied with Qin Feng's witty behavior. He was afraid that Qin Feng would desperately protect the things in his bag and not give them to these 3 mental illnesses. In that case, it is very likely to stimulate them. These 3 high-risk patients are capable of doing anything. It's possible to chop this young man on the spot. Audience friends, now the harbor police have arrived at the scene. Dozens of police officers equipped with live ammunition have surrounded this bank, unable to even fly out. However, given the situation inside, the harbor police cannot enter rashly at the moment. Otherwise, customers present and bank employees may be at risk. Through our lens, we can see that at this moment, 3 robbers inside are carrying out a robbery by a young boy. The boy also cooperated well and took off his shoulder bag, preparing to hand over the contents to the robber. It has to be said that his approach is still very correct and worth learning from for all of us. In times of crisis like this, no matter how valuable something is, it cannot be compared to human life. The beautiful journalist from the harbor TV station outside quickly spoke to the camera. At this moment, the ratings of Haigang television station in Haigang have reached an unprecedented 60%. That is to say, out of the 100 people watching TV in the entire harbor, 60 are watching live news programs at this time. Nearly 3 million people in the entire harbor have paid attention to the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China robbery case. Everyone is deeply concerned about the anxious situation on site and the safety of the trapped people in the bank. Among these people, there is Qin Feng's sister Qin. Mom. Come and take a look. Isn't that Xiaofeng? Qin, sitting on the sofa in a residential building in Haigang City, wearing pajamas and facial mask, after seeing Qin Feng's figure on TV, he suddenly stood up from the sofa, staring wide-eyed, pointing at the TV, turning his head and shouting loudly at his busy mother in the kitchen. Upon hearing Qin's roar, Qin Feng's mother Zhang Zuizhi hurried from the kitchen to the living room and looked at the live broadcast of the industrial and commercial bank robbery on TV. Next second, I feel like my eyes are turning black. Sitting on the sofa, he almost fell to the ground. For nothing else, because Zhang Zuizhi clearly recognized from the TV that the person who was being robbed by 3 mental illnesses at the moment was his son Qin Feng. It's okay, Mom. Now that the harbor police have arrived at the scene, Xiaofeng will be fine. Qin on the side quickly hugged Zhang Zuizhi and comforted her. That being said, Qin also felt deeply worried on her side. After all, Qin Feng is just a student who has just entered university. Worried that he may find it difficult to resist 3 heinous and violent robbers. Zhang Zuizhi, who was sitting on the sofa, couldn't help but cry. It's okay, Mom. Xiaofeng has already taken down his bag, and when he gives the contents to the robber, they should no longer be difficult for him. A student like Xiaofeng would definitely not have anything valuable. Qin tightly hugged Zhang Zuizhi and said. On the other side. Within the central bank of Haigang City. Don't procrastinate. Hurry up and open the bag. The 3 robbers held their kitchen knives tightly and urged Qin Feng. I can't wait to know what valuable things are hidden in Qin Feng's shoulder bag. He can be protected to the death. 10 Unexpected triggering of the system. Fake guns turn into real guns. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. TikTok, the live broadcast Queen Chu Yuqing, also stared at Qin Feng. Staring intently at his shoulder bag. The nervous heart thumped and jumped. Not for anything else. Just because she had a brief understanding of Qin Feng's shoulder bag as early as she entered the bank. Based on her intuition, she suspected that there was a gun on the surface. But it was denied by Qin Feng. As Qin Feng's hand was placed on the zipper, everything was about to be revealed. Chu Yuqing was so nervous that she couldn't even breathe. I'm going to take it out now. You guys keep an eye on it. What exactly is inside? Qin Feng slowly unfastened the zipper of his shoulder bag and loudly spoke to the 3 robbers in front of him. Next second, at the moment Qin Feng opened his shoulder bag, a burst of alarm erupted within the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China on the central street of Haigang. Everyone widened their eyes, opened their mouths, and stared blankly at the scene before them, wondering if what they saw was true. Because what is exposed in front of them at this moment is a black hole in the muzzle. Although the crowd present did not have a first-hand experience of what firearms looked like, but I have also been exposed to it countless times in TV and movies. Everyone suspects that what is inside the Qin Feng shoulder bag at this time is likely a long gun. But I don't know exactly what type it is. Because Qin Feng's shoulder bag has not been fully opened yet. At the moment when the 3 robbers on the side saw the gun heads exposed in Qin Feng's shoulder bag, the smile on his face suddenly froze. As Qin Feng's zipper kept pulling down, the 3 of them gradually stood still. The hands holding the kitchen knife hung in mid-air. Do you want it? Not long after, the zipper of Qin Feng's shoulder bag was fully opened, and then he threw it aside, holding the contents inside, and looked at the 3 robbers speaking sternly. Ah. Ah. He really brought a gun to the bank. Looking at the pure black AK-47 in Qin Feng's hand, Chu Yuqing beside her was already at a loss. I feel my brain buzzing. For a moment, Chu Yuqing suspected that what she saw was fake. It's an illusion. But when she rubbed her eyes and looked at Qin Feng again, discovering that the AK-47 with extremely strong killing power and full of shock still remained in Qin Feng's hands, Chu Yuqing only found out, I didn't read it wrong, Qin Feng's hand is holding an AK-47. The kitchen knives in the hands of the three robbers suddenly paled in front of the AK-47. Like a child's toy. Do you still want it? Looking at the three mentally ill individuals who were frightened in front of him, Qin Feng smiled slightly and spoke slowly to them. Despite appearing unusually calm on the surface, Qin Feng's heart couldn't help but tremble with fear. After all, the AK-47 he holds in his hand is not real. But he spent a high price of 500 yuan to buy a high imitation gun at a toy store. So he must act as if he is holding a real gun in his hand. Otherwise, it is bound to be exposed by these three mental illnesses. If these three guys know he's holding a fake gun, then his situation is in danger. After these three people discovered that they had been played with, they were bound to use a kitchen knife to chop him down. Qin Feng didn't want to be chopped by these three people today, so he showed his highest acting skills in his life. He desperately told himself that what he was holding was a genuine gun. The AK-47, which is extremely famous throughout the gun industry. Congratulations to the host, the strongest system has been successfully bound. Detected that the host is acting bravely and the gun carried has automatically been converted into a real gun at this moment, a sound suddenly came to Qin Feng's mind. At the first moment of hearing this voice, Qin Feng was completely bewildered. But in a brief moment of daze, especially after feeling that the thing in hand had become noticeably heavier, Qin Feng understood what was going on. I have obtained the legendary divine level weapon equipment. The system. It is said that time travel is more compatible with the system. Qin Feng was still wondering why he hadn't triggered the system even though he had been traveling for 2 days. But now it's here, it stepped on Shang Yun and walked towards him. And the first reward given to him by the system was to turn his highly imitated AK-47 into real. I have to say, this reward truly surprised Qin Feng. It's a bit unexpected. Qin Feng lowered his head and looked at the heavy and genuine AK-47 in his hand. Firstly, there was a burst of joy, followed by a great sadness. I am happy because facing 3 mentally ill individuals with knives in their hands, after the system turned his AK-47 into a real gun, he had the power to fight back. Don't worry about being hacked to death by these 3 guys. He was so anxious that he could shoot directly at the ceiling. I believe I would have scared these 3 mental illnesses to pee at that time. What troubles him is that, he entered the bank with a genuine AK-47 in his hand. How can he explain to the police outside later?